I'm gonna get right into it.
Sure.
How much?
45,000.
Why does this sound like a drug deal? He's like, how much for an 80-foot, low-level mustard contaminated bunker? It's like, hey, I got a clean one, low mileage for 45, baby. Hi, I'm Arvin Haddad. I'm going to point out the flaws in this Doomsday bunker community, so if you ever decide to build or buy a bunker, you won't make the same mistakes. Let's watch this together. Wow, there's a whole subdivision. Look at it, there's like thousands of them. Okay, let's talk about the design. First of all, it is a bunker, but it's an over-the-ground bunker, right? They didn't dig a hole to go under the ground, and that would have been way better. Now, architecturally speaking, you can call it, a branch of brutalist architecture, but it's not really significant.
So this is an original bunker. Before we do anything to it, this is what they will look like.
Okay, I know you mentioned it to me. You have two lengths, 60 foot and 80 foot. Is this the 80 foot one?
These are all 80 foot.
Yeah, you have options. Okay, the dome structure is probably the best for withstanding a nuclear attack, as it would kind of maybe direct out the energy. But if you were in ground, it would have been way nicer to have an actual square shape. Because remember, if Doomsday comes, you're going to be spending, maybe 12 to 18 months in one of these bunkers before you get out. The more similar you make the structure to what you're used to, which is rectangular shape or cube shape rooms, it would be better. And also for echoes, as you can imagine, it would echo a lot more in a structure like this. Because sound waves, when they hit a curved structure, they converge to the same point, causing an echo. But in a rectangular structure, they don't do that.
And keep in mind, these weren't built to be homes. No. These were built to be storage units, safe storage units.
For chemical weapons? Yeah. And we're trying to convert them to residences. You see, when you store chemical and regular weapons in a bunker for a very long period of time, they leak very slowly, but they do leak. And that itself could contaminate the bunker. And when you add the fact that they've actually tested the chemical weapons and the regular weapons in this vicinity, I'm really worried about the soil and the water system, because that stuff lasts, decades, if not centuries.
The sheer scale of 𝗕𝗏𝗄 X Point is staggering and covers a total land area around 18 square miles. Everywhere you look, you can see bunkers as far as the eye can see.
Okay, I don't think this location would be a target for a nuclear attack itself. So it's not in the cities, it's not a high populated area. It's already fortified with bunkers, and they're spread it out with a good distance between each, which really doesn't make it worth the while for the enemy, because the kill ratio won't be so high. However, it's super, super close to our three main nuclear ICBM silos that we have in the United States. The problem with that is that United States has, on purpose, part of our strategy, has disclosed the location of all these silos. Do you know why? When a nuclear war breaks out, it's not just trying to nuke cities of the other country. It's also trying to prevent from the other person nuking you back. So the first place that they would most likely attack would be our nuclear silos. But United States has done this very smartly. They have spread them out in clusters of location that would require a bomb each. And where they put them? In the middle of the country, where it's least amount of population live there. Now, this is a really smart strategy to save the population in the big cities, but it's very bad for this Doomsday bunker community, because those locations for sure are going to get nuked. And the nuclear fallout travels from west to east, because in the northern hemisphere, the wind blows from west to east. And in almost most simulated scenarios, will go over this bunker community. And that is a major, major concern.
This is kind of the halfway done bunker. This is one that we've really taken our time with. You get a really good sense of this is really going to start looking like a house to you.
Okay, I see some holes over here, which I will be worried about contamination going in, but the door has been changed. It's more of a modern door.
A lot of people here actually leave their bunker door open and actually have a regular exterior door.
Yeah. Wait a minute, that defeats the whole purpose. You need to have an airlock system. So you come on in, turn on air purifying system to clean you out, to go back in to the second section of the residence. This whole foyer in the beginning of the area should be airlocked. And if you open the door, you're just You're exposing yourself.
What we have here is going to be fuel storage. This is the water room. This right here will be where we'll have some fuel storage, as well as that thing. That is a nuclear, biological, and chemical air filtration unit. It has a one-way check valve, so it can only let air in, and then we can push that air out into the bunker through a dehumidifier.
Yeah, that only works if the second section is also sealed, and this section is just not. This looks like regular drywall. As soon as you open this door, you're going to bring the contamination with you. It's horrible.
Take us in.
Sure.
This looks like a house.
Yeah, it's like I said, really standard, just drywall construction. We have a vinyl.
Okay, vinyl flooring, goes without saying, is not really luxury. They're very easy to clean and they're very cost effective. They could have used something a little bit more luxurious, like maybe engineered wood. It's also very lasting. It's easy to clean, but I don't know. I feel like they cheaped it out over here.
This is going to be your kitchen with the built-ins. You get an 8-foot, ceiling height, and then everything else on top of that, well, that's where your food storage goes.
So storage is super important. And this whole round design really creates a lot of waste. So I don't know if you will have enough space for 18 months of food for a family of 4, let's say. For the same size rectangular design that has the same height and width, you have all these corners that you lose in volume. But also, because we store our supplies in rectangular boxes, if you try to stack up these boxes above the bedrooms over here, when they hit the edge, they have empty cavities of space that don't get filled. And that's another negative.
As we get to the back here, this is the master. So the master is going to take up the full width. It has an ensuite bathroom.
This is the most logical place to put the primary suite, because if you want to give the whole width of the bunker for the primary suite, there's no other place you can put it, because everyone would have to go through the primary room to get to the other side of the bunker. So the end of the bunker is the place to put it.
This is an escape door. In a perfect world, no emergency, nothing bad is happening.
You're good.
Ingress and egress out the one main door, and you're fine. But what happens if there's a fire? What happens if that door got frozen in place or blocked? We're able to use this as a secondary escape. Only in case of emergency. Obviously, you're not going to be crawling up and down this thing to get in.
Yeah.
Dude, that looks really tight. Half of the country can't even fit through that. Every single one of these spaces needs to have air block system, place where you shut it, you change the air, and then you go out, because then you're contaminating the inside. To me, it looks like a kind of a Mickey Mouse job. This is not pro level.
This is it, man. This is the fully built, fully stocked, fully furnished.
Okay, water is leaking from the air ventilation system. And then there are 2 additional holes that wires are going in. Those also need to be sealed. Everything needs to be sealed. And the diesel gas generator outside is gonna be done after a nuclear attack. Like, you gotta have secondary, backup energy sources popping out of the ground so they won't be damaged during the attack, to provide electricity for the whole 12 months, 18 months that you're going to be living in there.
First thing you'll notice is kind of this snorkel system that we've designed. That's what the NBC filtration hooks up to. On top of that, I have my 4G cell booster, so I get full bars inside and full cell data.
That's not going to stand the initial attack. The whole communication pole should be stored under the ground, and a hydraulic jack system and a cover on top. So after the attack, the hatch opens up, it goes up, and then it needs to have multiple systems, multiple ways of communicating. So if the outside world is still out there, the satellite's working, you can at least talk to someone.
Doors
just like
easier.
a bolt opens it.
Okay, I like the fact that there's a second door. That's good.
You guys are the absolute first on the planet to get to see this in this capacity.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I like the wow factor. I can't think of another way of designing this space. I like how you get the volume right away, and then you get the depth of the structure all the way to the end, the hallway, which is pretty good. It shows that this is a really big place. The market lights is a little, Spanish accent to the bunkers. There's just so many ways you can design this space. Again, the number one thing that bothers me about the space is the dome-like vibe for acoustics, and also storage space, and just sense of feeling normal and the least amount of waste as the walls go curve up.
It's a little
It
different.
feels so much more spacious. I love the wood textures you brought, which kind of softens up that concrete punchy feel.
But we wanted to keep, kind of barn house, somewhat masculine kind of sensibility to that as well. And even the way we do the lighting here, we didn't want to start putting cans in the ceiling like you're used to with standard homes.
Well, the real reasons why they didn't do that is the wiring, right? How are you going to make the holes to bring electricity inside. It would be massive project and very expensive. So market lights is the cheapest way to go here.
I want to cover the kitchen. I've seen these cabinets before. You know why? They're from IKEA.
Yes,
They're really good.
They're okay. They're a good value, but they're not necessarily quality. The number one complaint I've heard is that the material wears and shows the wear really quickly, and the hinges and the sliding drawers don't last too long.
You have another seating area here. I'm assuming this is kind of where you hang out.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I have my laptop there. That's kind of my office right now.
That tells me he doesn't have an office, or he's not motivated to work in other rooms because they're either small or he feels cramped, which again is the downfall of this design, I guess.
You've done the layout here a little bit differently. As soon as you walk in, you see the entire hallway, and you didn't compromise the ceiling heights here.
So when we start walking into the rooms, you're going to see it's still the regular 8-foot ceiling height. So what do we do with the rest of that? Well, everything on top of that 8-foot all the way to the top.
It's
All
storage.
beautiful storage.
Wait a minute. He doesn't have a primary bedroom in his own bunker. He has a safe at the end of the hallway instead. Why would you put a freaking safe in a bunker? The whole bunker is supposed to be a safe.
Take us in.
Okay, so the first room here is the
Oh,
master.
nice. This room looks really cozy.
A little spicy, you know, it's more of like a ketchup instead of a mustard vibe.
I'm just gonna go to the room next door.
Yeah, for sure. It's
Nice.
kind of the little entertainment theater room.
Look at you. You got a little screening room here. I'm
A
jealous.
screening room that needs a bigger TV, but it's coming.
He was about to say this is by far one of the best movie theaters we've ever toured in our channel.
Behind
That's right.
camera,
Okay,
Mikey's
yeah.
just smiling already. He's like, yep, yep.
2 bathrooms. This one has a nice full vanity toilet and a nice shower with a tub.
How many rooms do you have here?
So it's a 4-bedroom and 2-bathroom. Check out this room here.
Nice.
So this one's kind of a kid's room.
I get, you know, Aspen Chalet vibes here.
We got the bunk beds in here. We wanted to go with kind of the Fallout theme, but then kind of the old school. Is this where we're sleeping tonight? That is where you guys are sleeping tonight, so get cozy. But
Yeah, we will get cozy. We got another bedroom, I'm assuming, or like a storage area here?
Yeah, currently it's a bedroom work in progress. I might
Okay.
actually change my mind and turn it into an office.
Got it.
I mean, hell, I might even just put a standalone jacuzzi in there. Who can say you got a jacuzzi inside a bunker, right?
I don't know, man. I feel like he's hiding something in that room. It's either some extra chemical weapons he's found on site, or maybe it's like a POW from World War II. Old guy Alfredo Gianluca comes out and says, "Buonasera."
Another bedroom. So this one is mine. You know, again, you'll see that all the furnishings are different but cohesive, right?
I like this guy. Seems like he's like a kind of has a very small crew. He's like a small general contractor, but he's speaking my lingo, you know, cohesive and all these lines. I like him.
And you kind of designed it more on the rustic side of things, a little bit more
Exactly.
wood, iron.
Yeah, exactly. I like that kind of wrought iron, you know. To me, it is more masculine.
Yeah, pink wouldn't really bring the right demographics. I think he made some good choices here.
So back here, this room is fuel storage. It is also, you know, we're gonna put some cleaning supplies and stuff in here.
Okay, fuel, very important. So the stuff I want to see is fuel. I want to see water storage, a water filtration system, backup electricity system. These are all super, super important for a bunker.
It's awesome to see that you have all that interior square footage, but yet on the back you can tuck the utilities and you have that overhead space. So you can do a lot with it. And I'm assuming those are your batteries.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
So we have to have a full battery array. To just have a generator is pointless. You want to have a generator that can feed a more passive system.
Dude, that's nowhere even close to how much battery you need. So you need at least like 3-4 Tesla panels here, or equivalent from another brand. This is, again, to me, it's not adequate. You got to be able to withstand, you know, just battery alone, at least on minimum usage, at least for a week. And I don't think this would do.
But then you also have to have a smart inverter and charger. You have to have a way of telling that generator automatically, turn on, we need it, turn off, we don't need it.
We don't need it.
So in addition to that, we have a solar controller. So I want that solar panel outside to be doing most.
Good to have a solar panel, but this would not withstand the first attack, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. Your solar panel should be also have its own mini bunker where, you know, after the nuclear attack, it opens up and the solar panels fold out to bring electricity in and, you know, provide electricity for you. And then maybe even a self-washing system where it could clean it off debris and everything, so you don't have to exit the bunker. Again, he's thought it out, but some of the stuff is just kind of a, you know, very Mickey Mouse-ish, I would say.
I'm going to get right into it.
Sure.
How much?
$45,000.
Why does this sound like a drug deal? He's like, how much for an 80-foot, low-level, mustard-contaminated bunker? It's like, hey, got a clean one, low mileage for 45, baby.
How many units you have sold so far and how many you have vacant?
So I want to say we're right around 200 units sold.
200 units sold? Dude, this guy is a better salesman than Enes. How the hell did you sell 200? Good job, man. I like this guy. I swear he's a good salesman. He's doing really good. I wouldn't pay $1 for any of these.
And how many of these units sold are full-time residents?
That's always been a smaller percentage. I would say we have about 30 families living out here right now.
Really? 30 families? I want to interview them. I want to see them and I want to talk to them and I want to ask these questions. First, I want to see if their reproductive organs still work and if they have any kids. If they have any kids, I want to see if they have all their fingers, you know, not extra nipples or extra eyes. Because as far as I'm concerned, this area has already been compromised. I can't believe people would actually not take into account the fact that, you know, there's been chemical testing going on in this site and storage of chemical weapons for, you know, decades. It's a big red flag for me.
The one thing I didn't expect about staying in this bunker is that you lose track of time because there are no windows anywhere. Our dinner lasted for what felt like a few minutes, but when we looked at the time, it was already late at night.
We've done everything we could in the bunker, so we're gonna go outside now.
You know, I really like this guy, and I was wondering, you know, he seemed like he didn't have a ring on his finger, but can you imagine him going into a bar and like meeting a girl and he's like, hey, you wanna come to my place? Maybe that's why he's single.
Dante showed us a few more empty bunkers that haven't had any work done on them, and I could feel an eerie connection to the past and the site's history. I had to constantly remind myself that at one point in time, every one of these bunkers was full of weapons intended for war.
Yeah, mustard gas and prisoners of war. To be honest, for you to have the highest chance of survival, you should probably have a bunker in your main residence, because by the time the nuclear attack starts, by the time you transport yourself to this doomsday community, you could die or get contaminated. So if I was going to build a bunker for myself, I would build it in the basement of my house or in the backyard, and I would definitely go under the ground, right? And I would go for a square shape where it maximizes the space. But if you want to see a luxury bunker in south of France, click right here. See you guys in the comments.